The anime begins with Nishino, a young girl who wakes up murmuring. She is taken back to her terrifying past when she opens the door. She becomes terrified and jerks to a halt, but it is her driver outside. He drives her to school in a luxurious car, and everyone admires her beauty except for Kajino, who notices her when she walks in. Nishino approaches and greets him, but she dislikes him because he always gets a lower middle grade in school. He consistently mispronounces her name and doesn't recognize her. She is tired of hearing her name, but Kajino doesn't even notice her when he speaks, and his gaze is drawn elsewhere. She tries her hardest to ignore him, but she can't. In the following scene, she recounts her past. She recently left her job and studies due to a scandal. She confined herself to a room and began wearing a mask in public. When school is finished, she calls her driver, but he does not come to pick her up. A gang of stray boys murdered him. She decides to walk home alone after a long period of waiting. This is the first time she has ever walked through the streets and encountered the identical stray boys who kidnap her in a dark street and chain her up to extort money from her wealthy father. From a distance, Kajino notices everything but doesn't move forward to assist her during the abduction. Nishino sees Kajino standing far away until the last possible moment. After giving her anesthesia, they put her in a dark room, and one of the kidnappers tries to kiss her and button down her clothes. It is also revealed that she has been kidnapped twice before. Meanwhile, a young man dressed entirely in green enters through a glass ceiling and introduces himself as the stylish thug slayer. He has exceptional marksmanship skills and understands how to fight quietly. The kidnappers are terrified, but they still challenge him to a fight. One is defeated in a single blow, while the other appears challenging to manage. He is an ex-soldier, but he is very confident in his abilities. He disparages the soldier's lack of skills and arrogance. He tries to hit him aggressively, but the boy breaks his bones with a barrel and reveals his identity: he is one ski mask berserker, who smashed the biker gangs with a single barrel. The soldier recognizes him. The boy reinforces his belief by hitting him with the barrel. He also fails his gun-holding attempts by directing the barrel directly at his other arm. Both arms are broken, and he repeatedly strikes him in the abdomen and smashes his head. Nishino doesn't recognize him because he is completely covered, but he is a classmate she dislikes. He frees her from the chains and warns her not to walk home alone. Next time, he vanishes before Nishino can see him and mourns. He is dissatisfied with his fight with the soldier because his fighting skills differ from Eminence in Shadows. After that, Nishino reports the incident to the police and informs her father that they took all precautions to keep the case quiet, but she is still sad because the identity of the stylish thug slayer remains unknown. The next day, she greets all the students as before, and Kajino continues ignoring her. He does, however, spell her name correctly and makes eye contact. Nishino is currently depressed. After all, she sees Kajino sad all the time because she knows he lives a masked life like her, which makes her even more painful. In the following scene, horrifying news spreads throughout the city that a middle school student was hit by a truck and killed last night. The student's name is Kajino, and the accident was caused by the truck driver's careless driving. The scene shifts to a young boy who is alone and trying to realize his childhood dreams. Like most children, he remembers his childhood dreams and refuses to let them fade over time. He wants to live those dreams and gain more and more power, so he goes to great lengths to make them come true. These abilities would fade away, from joining small combats to soldiers training and even winning wrestling competitions. He even attempted to participate in all of these battles. This is because all humans are helpless in the face of natural disasters, including nuclear weapons. He wishes to live a long life in which no energies are extinguished. To accomplish this, he must eliminate whatever it takes and is willing to destroy everything. As a result, he is forced to live a mediocre life in front of the entire world, but he uses heroic deeds and shadows to achieve whatever he desires. Finally, he achieves his goal, forms a band of heroes, and ascends to the position of eminence in shadows. Kajino has always aspired to be a master of eminence in the shadows, and he is now one of them. He's telling the same story. He was a mediocre, stylish middle school thug slayer boy who died in a truck accident and was reborn as Baron's son. When Kajino is reborn, his mother notices his delayed cry and wants him to cry after hearing how loud he cries. Everyone becomes irritated because they see something strange in their newborn baby. He is born into a family where his elder sister is a master of various martial arts skills. He has been learning these skills since he was a child. This family has been working on their magic and pumping dark nights. They all have high expectations for Kajino, but he is always a mediocre and ordinary character trainer. However, he has martial arts skills and has been killing humans in the shadows and dark, indicating that he is possessed. After about a month of experimenting, he finally successfully contains the magical overload, and the results are unexpected. This transforms into a beautiful unconscious, and naked girl. It is unfathomable that something that has died could revert to its original state. In any case, he is overjoyed because this is his first success as an eminence in shadow. He breaks the curse that had kept her a living corpse for so long. Elf, his curse, and Kajino are on the same mission to work in the shadows to stop the devil's movements and keep the devil from resurrecting. Kajino changes his name to Shadow and invites her to join him on his mission to destroy the Diablo's cult. He names the girl Alpha after she joins the mission. She has also lost everything since the curse years, and his only goal in life is to exact revenge. She was doomed to a life as a hideous beast, but Kajino saved her life, so she offered her life to him. Kajino practices with his older sister. He purposefully loses the practice all the time to give the impression of being weaker and restore his energies. His sister believes he has not progressed in all these years because he plays a background character and must prepare for the final battle. His sister's farewell party is being held in the house today, and she is leaving for it. The guests will accompany her to the Academy for Dark Nights in the royal capital. But she's gone, and her room is a shambles. She was kidnapped by Greece, a member of the cult of Diablos. Others are determining the hideouts where they keep his sister, but Kajino already recognizes them. He points out the location on the map, and there is only a shadow hideout. On the other hand, his sister is imprisoned and chained in a dark place. The kidnapper is well versed in her family, and she mentions her brother. She claims that even though her brother always loses battles with her, she learned much from him rather than her father. The seven shadows easily dismember Greece's men. In front of them, Alpha declares that their mission is to destroy the cult of Diablos. Greece is perplexed as to how they know that name and its secrets. He attacks Alpha, but she easily blocks his attacks and injures him, stating that she will not kill him until they receive answers from him. Greece takes a pill to boost his magic after realizing he is overwhelmed. He turns red and attacks them, but even this pill is ineffective, and he flees in fear. Kajino is already on his way to meet him. When he sees him alone, he underestimates him and begins to demonstrate his magical powers. Still, Kajino is a tough competitor and insults his forces because his lunge is weak and he doesn't even know how to use these powers. He is instructing him on how to use these abilities. Meanwhile, his sister had freed herself before their arrival and was unaware of her brother's natural strengths. She is tenacious, and all her injuries heal in one night. She leaves the next day as if nothing had happened. Kajino wants to go to the capital but wonders if he will put Alpha in charge and delegate the work to her. However, Alpha informs him that it is time for them to leave, which surprises him. He bids farewell. Alpha and other teen girls who have gathered much information about the devils tell Kajino everything about it inside and outside the kingdom. It is a medieval tile hierarchical community, yet he manages to get in there instead of being a background character in the outside world. He is now treated as a mediocre background character and assigned to lower-level dorms and buses. This irritates him, and he wishes to live in the upper dorms with his sister. He must first become a champion. Kajino is a minor character who befriends Skell Eatle and Potato, two other bottom-of-the-pile nobles like him. On the way to school, Skell and Po remind Kajino that because he scored the lowest on the test, his punishment is to confess to the most desired girl in school and face her rejection. When they arrive at school, they run into the girl in question, Princess Alexia Midgar, who rejects another guy's confession. Kajino, on the other hand, is overjoyed at the prospect of being a bystander to such a confession. He confesses to Alexia that evening, shaking and muttering, thinking he did a great job as a background character confession. Much to his surprise, she accepts, stating that she has been looking for someone like him. Everyone is astounded to witness this miracle of character dating the goddess of the campus. The boys are eager to try the regular one. When she saw her royal food, Kajino gulped it down and enjoyed it. She also wishes to join Section 9, the lowest section in the school. Kajino concurs, and they are now in the same section. The princess forces him to join the traditional bush and Section 1, and the instructor greets him warmly. They are excited to see his abilities as a supporting character. He fights the princess and notices that she moves slowly, does not use magic, and breaks the basic matching rules. She reveals that the instructor wishes to marry her, and she accepts Kajino's proposal to avoid this engagement. Kajino refuses to assist her to avoid drawing the entire school's attention. The princess also says she accepted his proposal because she doesn't want to lose the bet she made with her friends. She bet them she'd make their days at the academy miserable if she didn't confess fake love. Now he has to pretend to love her and say, "You're right." He picks up another coin from his mouth after she tosses another. She thinks he's a good doggy and tosses another one. They spend the following day as boyfriend and girlfriend. The entire school refers to Kajino as a gold digger, and the princess finds the instructor irritating due to his arrogance about his sword skills. That's why she dislikes him. Princess appears to be very cautious in public, but in reality, she is a whirlwind of insults, and Kajino always agrees. Princess informs him of everything he thinks of him and regards him as mysterious. Kajino inquires about her drab behavior today. She then tells him that she has always wished to be as strong as her sister Iris, but despite her best efforts, she has been unable to defeat her and has given up. She finds her way to strength and looks at where she is now. Everyone refers to her as an ordinary fencer. What she likes about Kajino is that he thinks his fencing style is as ordinary as hers. She considers it unfortunate that he refuses for 2 weeks, and they curse him for passing up the golden opportunity. Meanwhile, they assaulted the instructor. He requests the princess because she has been missing since last night, and Kajino knows he is the last person she contacts. He is now in serious trouble. Everyone there has their swords drawn and is ready to kill him. He immediately surrenders before the crews and kneels at the instructor's command. Thanks for watching. If this series is the most liked in my anime recap production, I will make a part 2. Also, if you haven't yet, please subscribe to help me make more content.